This portion of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited, fueling growth for people.
19 marching bands representing junior and senior high schools across the country assembled at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium for the first ever Bahamas National High School Marching Band competition yesterday. Our Jared Higgs has the highlights.
The atmosphere at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gym was ripe with excitement as our nation's top band performers prepared to face off Saturday. Students and coaches from the Anatole Rogers Senior High School were pumped up for the competition. They didn't seem too fazed by the uniformity and poise of Government High School or by the youthful energy of AF Adderley. Family members, friends, and even some fans filled the gymnasium to witness the showcase of talent. Of the 19 schools participating, 4 schools flew in from the Family Islands. Bob Quatman of the Florida Marching Band Coalition was impressed with the uniquely Bahamian atmosphere. He sees this competition as just the beginning of great things to come.
And to see that hard work is rewarded, and in a long term, I can see this developing to maybe where the champions might be able to come to the States and perform there. And from there, I can see scholarship opportunities coming. It has a huge opportunity for expansion and development, but somebody had to open the door, and that's what I'm really thrilled to see happen.
Event coordinator Evan Wisdom welcomed the competitive camaraderie. He believes if all goes well, this event will be a stepping stone to the international stage.
And I think Minister has reiterated to us, once he feels comfortable that we're performing at a level that we should be performing at, the event will eventually become an international event. So you could be talking about literally hundreds of schools on Bahamian soil representing their different countries and representing their different states. A boom for sports tourism and even band tourism at this particular point.
Minister of Education, Science and Technology, the Honorable Jerome Fitzgerald, was visibly proud of the display and didn't shy away from talking about the competition's progress either.
That in another 2 years, we'll be able to host this in the National Stadium, where we can have 10 to 15,000 people coming. From there, we would like to move this into a competition where we would see bands coming in from the Caribbean and also in from the Florida area. The Florida Marching Band Coalition has been very instrumental in assisting us in the organization of this, and they share the vision that we have for moving this forward.
And of course, all of this would be impossible without the students' efforts.
We practice hard every afternoon for hours, lunch times. In the mornings, we just work hard towards this and we hoping that we win.
Despite their efforts, Anatole Rogers will have to settle for 3rd place this year. Government High School came out on top, followed by the Central Eleuthera High School. The competition was fierce, however, and if you missed out this year, you have to schedule in next year's event. Jared Higgs, ZNS Network News.
For years, he's been the friendly but firm face of law enforcement as the liaison between the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the public. Well, today, Assistant Commissioner of Police Hewlin Hanna was promoted to a new order, Senior Pastor. Our cameras were there as the veteran policeman prepared for a major life change.
The presence of the Lord is in this place.
36-year veteran Assistant Commissioner Hewlin Hanna, who often reminded the police are our friends, will after June be hanging up his hat. His new rank, Senior Pastor of the Church of God of Prophecy, East Street Tabernacle.
As you take up this office of Senior Pastor of the East Street Tabernacle, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Blessed Holy Ghost.
Bishop Hewlin Hanna has served dual roles for decades, merging law enforcement muscle with humanitarian service. The former fireman, community relations head, and youth counselor has left a mark, as his colleague, Deputy Commissioner Quinn McCartney, emotionally acknowledged.
Hewlin Hanna, I wish you all the best, and totally emotional as I witness the ceremony, because I know it's a very, very difficult job. You know, there's so many temptations and so many things to try and throw you off course, and persons criticize you unnecessarily, and you know, so I know as the National Overseer preached and talked about the challenges he will have, I want to assure him of my full prayers and my support. And if you need the heavy hand of the law, for as long as I am still on the Royal Bahamas Police Force, I will come to your aid, sir. So I wish you well.
He has
risen to the rank of assistant commissioner. The next step was deputy, and then it only was one more step to go. And at the same time, we have watched him ascend in the church arena. And Hewlin Hanna is certainly worthy of our commendation today.
With posthumous gratitude to his mother and grandmother, and to his father, parishioners, and fellow ministers, Bishop Hanna, professing his love for the force, declared he now has new marching orders.
I will miss you all. I will miss the council. I will miss the friendship, the bonding. But this is a higher calling, Mr. Deputy. This is a higher calling. And I leave the Royal Bahamas Police Force in June with absolutely no regrets. I've spent myself in the service of this nation, and I'm ready to do God's work in a more defined and more definite way.
Bishop Hanna is pursuing a master's degree in religion at Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary, and is working on his first book. As he begins this latest chapter in his life, he's doing so against the backdrop of 100 years of tradition and this signature sound.
Well, we'll miss you too, Mr. Hanna. Well, still to come, action heating up in the New Providence Basketball Association. That story and more coming up in sports. Stay tuned.